In the video earlier today, we discussed the new RSX. Check this out. If you missed that video, there it is. If you want to dive more into it and my thoughts about Acura's EVs and a real coupe on the horizon, make sure to check out that video. But today's video, or should I say later today's video, Honda's offering an outlook on the 2025 U.S. automobile business. They talk about which models are getting updates, the CR-V, HR-V, which new models are coming. Is the Integra getting a we have so much from the Honda and Acura lineup to look forward to in 2025. Honda's laid it all out. Now we know what to expect, and it's halfway through January, and we know what's coming down the hatch. We could still have some surprises left in 2025, and I'll talk about those. If you guys are excited for today's content, if you are a Honda and Acura junkie, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I have a lot of Honda and Acura coverage coming. ADX first drive in the next couple months, Passport, Trail Sport in the next couple of months, doing a lot of off-road driving. And yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's what's coming next. I also just got back from Disney. If you guys were wondering where I was for the last week or so, I was up in Orlando spending time with family. I don't get to see very much. This is a great experience. Just take some time off. I haven't taken that much time off. I can't, maybe 10 years. Maybe 10 years was the last time I took 5 days off of work in a row. All right. So it's good to be back. The stress is gone of me missing work, and I'm ready to get into this, guys. Now, unfortunately, I was in the Honda Odyssey driving back from Orlando during this press conference or media conference. I wasn't able to tune in, but they summarized it in a press release for us. So we're going to break down this press release. Let's talk about sales first, and then we're going to get on the more exciting stuff, product cadence. So Honda, American Honda, so that includes Acura, finished 2024 at 1.4 million units in sales, up nearly 9% year over year. Now, they say production constraints are beginning to ease. There's a steady pipeline of products. Acura didn't have a good year. We had production issues, I believe, on the MDX. The RDX it hasn't been getting maybe all the updates we would want on that model, like a Type S. That'd be great. And we're still waiting on the ADX to come in to bring that volume up for the brand. An entry-level crossover is going to do wonders for Acura. All right, moving into 2025, the Honda brand is expected to realize sales around 1.35 million units, and Acura 160,000 units. That's 1.51 million units. So they're hoping to sell an extra 110,000 vehicles this year. Where's that going to come? ADX, like I mentioned, ADX, I think Passport volume is going to go way up. The Pilot had a great year last year. If you missed my sales breakdown of Acura and Honda, make sure to check out those videos, because that's not really the scope of this video. This is more like hitting the highlights and where they're going next. All right. If you guys want to read these two paragraphs about their lineup currently, how successful a year the CR-V had last year, best year ever. It eclipsed 400K since 2021. It's the only vehicle to do that. And in 2021, the vehicle that reached 400K sales was the Accord. It's never going to do that ever again. All right, getting into the product cadence here for Honda and Acura. In 2025, Honda will begin production of its first original EV in Ohio, while also introducing all-new hybrid model, the Prelude, and several refreshed or new ICE products. All right, the first original EV in Ohio starting this year is the new RSX that I showed you guys at the beginning of this year for Acura. Lance Wolfer, Vice President of Sales here for Honda. This is what he has to say about 2025. We believe that electrification is best for personal mobility long term. And again, quick pause. Honda wants to be fully battery electric, a little bit of fuel cell by 2040. Guys, we're only 15 years away. That's hard for me to wrap my head around, to be honest. But he says how we get to the 100% BEV goal ultimately will be based off of customer demand. Now, what's interesting is 100% BEV. No mention of fuel cell here, despite Honda and General Motors are working together on fuel cell technology. So it's probably going to be like 99% BEV with a little bit of hydrogen in there. But luckily, they're taking a step back and not flooding the market with EVs losing money on EVs by having too many available and not selling at the price that they need to. Well, you need to have demand for your product. Otherwise, you have to discount it. And if you discount it, you're not making money. Now, the EV tax credit is about ready to get thrown out the window. So there's a lot of like hesitation, as there should be, in the EV market when demand is, it's kind of like at 9 or 10% is EV penetration here in the United States. And there's not a whole lot more of immediate demand and growth in the EV segment. There's going to be more models coming out, more competition, but not seemingly more demand. All right. So they got to be careful with how much volume they produce. And that's why this EV hub in Ohio is saying, hey, well, we can make EVs, but depending on the market demand, we can go hard into hybrids and hard into ICE, pure ICE. Well, we know Acura is pure ICE, and it's getting supplemented with pure EV, despite them having sport hybrids for many, many years. The problem is being based on customer demand is that you have customer demand and then you have governmental demand. As of right now, they're kind of growing apart. The government is getting more and more, well, it's not the new administration, but if you look at California and the states that adhere to the CARB standard for emissions and EV uptake, it's getting more and more aggressive, while customer demand is kind of staying where it's at. All right. So there's this pull, there's this chasm going on between EV ramp up, EV requirement for CARB states, and then EV demand by the general consumer. So they got to be very, very careful here. And this is their ace up their sleeve, seemingly, is this EV hub in Ohio where they can produce whatever they want in whatever quantity, seemingly, whenever they want. All right. So with that being said, now that we've kind of laid the groundwork, what is Acura doing next year? Well, we talked about the RSX. This is the first EV coming out of the EV hub in Ohio. We don't know anything about it other than the general coupe-like crossover, and it's an EV, and it has some mega casting. It's going to use the Osmo AI. The Fila model coming after, and the Honda Zero Series models coming in 2026 are going to be sharing a lot of the same technology as this RSX. All right, so let's keep moving. They also remind us that the ADX is coming this spring and is going to bring a new generation of buyers to the brand. They talk about this, and yes, it's a gateway model, but I'm not convinced that a lot of the young buyers will be going for the ADX over the Integra. That's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too old to understand things. I'm not as young as I used to be, and maybe young buyers are looking at crossovers to get their feet wet with the Acura brand. To me, I see it as, well, I see a lot of old ladies around town driving Integras, the new Integra. And I bet you if that ADX was around, they would have picked that over the Integra. Not all of them, a lot of them. So I'll be interested to see what the average buying age of the ADX is, because this thing isn't small. Acura says it's an entry level. It's not that much smaller. It's only like 2 or 3 inches less long than the RDX. It's cheaper. It's made down in Mexico alongside the HRV, the ADX is, and it's going to be CVT 1.5 turbo only. Think of it as a gussied up HRV with a bigger motor, more powerful motor, and I wouldn't say bigger motor, right? Because a more powerful motor, I should say. It has more performance, it's going to handle better. It's going to look more aggressive than the HRV. We just need that HRV to get that hybrid that the Civic has. And ironically, here's the thing. Once the HRV gets the 2-liter hybrid that the Civic has, hopefully it happens soon, with the 200 horsepower, it will be faster to 0 to 60 than this new ADX. Why? Because if you look at the Civic and you look at the Civic Si, which has a 1.5 turbo, and you race it against the new Civic 2-liter hybrid, the 2-liter hybrid is about a half second faster, 0 to 60, maybe even faster. Speaking of Integra, like the upscale Acura version of the Civic, the Integra is getting a refresh. It will receive exterior and interior changes to maintain its leadership position in the premium sport compact segment. Let me know what you want to see on the Integra design. I like the interior currently on the Integra. I mean, they could make it nicer. Certain parts aren't the most premium, but it's built to a price. It's an entry-level model. The exterior, I I can't think of anything I would purposely want to change on the exterior. So I'm excited to see what kind of design differences we're going to have with the Integra and how that will affect the A-Spec, how will they'll affect the Type S and the Integra. Since we're talking about Acura, let's speculate. RSX is coming back, but it's not the coupe Integra that we remember from the early 2000s. The RSX is now a coupe crossover EV. Completely different thing altogether. Now with the Prelude coming for Honda, the coupe, it would be a complete, I'm not going to say a disaster, but a lost opportunity if Acura doesn't make the Prelude the Integra coupe with an Acura badge, 1.5 turbo manual, 2-liter turbo manual, Type S. If those don't come out, it's an extremely missed opportunity because ever since the 4/5-door Integra was announced the past few years, so many enthusiasts are saying, hey, gosh, where's the coupe? Where's the coupe that we know that the Integra has always been, or at least has an optional coupe? All right. Yes, they've always had 4 doors. All right. But they weren't always exclusively 4-door. That's a new thing with this revived generation of the Integra. So we need to see the coupe Integra. That's my opinion. If that doesn't happen, it's a big lost opportunity for Acura. All right, let's get into Honda. What do we have new coming for Honda in 2025? Well, the new Passport Trail Sport are launching next month, February. It's the most rugged and capable Honda ever. I'll get to test it, fingers crossed. Depends on spring break, things like that, family visiting. I don't know for sure. Hopefully I'll get a chance to drive the Passport this spring. All right, CR-V is getting a refresh. It's getting a refresh in 2025, including the addition of a new Trail Sport trim, which will add a rugged appearance to the best-selling model. I've seen people asking for a Trail Sport CR-V in the comments of my videos. I don't know if they just wanted one, or maybe they had insider knowledge that one was coming. I had no expectations that a Trail Sport trim was coming to the CR-V. I'm excited about it. Why not? I mean, the RAV4 has off-roady trims. If you look at like the CX-50, the Meridian Edition, off-roady is still trendy. It's still hip. It's still cool. Honda, yeah, what kind of tires and wheels are you going to put on it? That's what I'm interested in. And is it going to be the hybrid? It will be exclusively hybrid. I sure hope so. Let's keep reading. HR-V is getting styling and technology enhancements to maintain its competitiveness in the compact SUV segment. What do I want to see here? The HR-V needs rear vents. It needs rear USBs. It's not asking too much. You're a crossover. You should have rear vents. So that's what I'm looking for. I know they have rear vents and other HR-Vs known as the ZR-Vs in other markets. There's rear vents, rear USBs. Honda, just bring it there. Come on. It's not too hard. What else do we want? Well, styling. The styling of the HR-V when it came out, it's been disappointing. I'll just say that. It's like anger. It's like an angry pufferfish or something. I can't gel with the design of the HR-V. It's a good car. It handles great. It's super smooth. It's very quiet. It's not very fuel efficient. And if they mention in this article, which they do, they mention technology enhancements to maintain its competitiveness. Where is the HR-V hybrid? We need it yesterday. The Corolla Cross, it's a good hybrid and it has no competition. The HR-V's interior is so much nicer than the Corolla Cross. It handles better than the Corolla Cross. Yeah, the interior doesn't need a change. Interior can stay the same. It's actually really, really nice. All right, we got the ripples here. You actually see these same ripples on the door panels of the new ADX. It lets you know that this is built in the same plant in Celaya, Mexico, as that new ADX. But I like the rear. I don't mind the rear end styling of the HR-V. I don't mind it. For some reason, the front is just personal preference. It doesn't look as good. Do I have an image of the bezel? Yes, I do. Hold the phone. I've sat in this model when I was in Japan, and this is what it should look like. This is what the new refresh HR-V should look like. The new bezel. Look how much better it looks. It's just too busy. And then one of the greatest things about Honda designs are their simple and strong design. If you look at the new 0 Series SUV that's coming next year, that I debuted for you guys at CES last week, that's a home run design. This up top, I'm not going to say it's home run. It's just very, very elegant, handsome, and unique. I love this really horizontal grille here. Bring that to the HRV or some sort of similar styling to the HRV in the States that the Vezel has in other markets. All right. So heck, in other markets, this model, slightly smaller than our now larger HRV. They call this the HRV in other markets, and they call our HRV a ZRV. It's really confusing. There's my spiel on the HRV. Make it look like the Vezel, give it a hybrid, and now we're cooking with fire, and it would instantly catapult it. Probably the top of the segment. Oh, and rear vents and rear USBs, and maybe an armrest in the back. Don't get so cheap on this Honda. The iconic Prelude is returning to the lineup at the end of 2025. Again, here's a look at the new Prelude, but yeah, it's coming back. With the Prelude naming, it's hybrid only. Now, this is a next-gen hybrid powertrain that acts like a sports car if you want it to with the S Plus button. It really tries to mimic a DCT transmission. Super fast shifts, keeping a consistent like gear ratio as well, like a real automatic. That's what I'm really looking forward to in this Prelude. A hybrid. Maybe it's not more powerful. Maybe it's not that much more efficient than our current Civic Hybrid. But what the Civic Hybrid is lacking is response and I guess interaction. There's not a lot going on with the interaction in that car. It's really efficient. It's very fast, but there's not, you just kind of press the gas and go. This is going to be fun. It's going to be very fun. Paddle shifters to simulate real gears. Can't wait for this vehicle. And God, please, if you're listening, those Shinto gods, if you're listening, give us an Acura version of this with a 6-speed manual. I don't think I'm asking for too much. Don't know if I've read this part right quite yet. So let's get into electrification and sustainability updates. I was lucky enough to debut with Honda the new 0 Series models at CES, the Saloon. And this is actually the first time I've seen this naming, CSUV. C is the segment that it's in. And then like the CRV is in the C segment. If you go B segment, it's smaller. A segment, well, we don't really have hardly any A segments in America. So C SUV, I think that's what, so it's kind of like a mid-size or CRV style. If you go to D, that's full size. We will have a D SUV coming in 2027, sorry, because these models are coming in 2026. So in 2027, a D-sized 3-row SUV is coming. A Saloon prototype is coming on the second half of 2025, where the C SUV is coming in the first half of 2025. And they are being sold globally. Just because they're built in the EV hub in Ohio doesn't mean they're exclusive North American products. They will go to Japan. They will go to Europe. They'll also be powered by the new Osmo OS operating system. And the RSX from Acura will be the first to show this technology. Honda's hoping that EV owners are going to get access to supercharger network from Tesla this spring with the availability of adapters. All of their cars right now have the CCS1 charging standard. They get an adapter for the NACS, which Tesla uses, and that's what more than likely the RSX, all the Saloon, 0 Series EVs, the Fila, in theory, those will all be the NACS charging standard. All right, I'm almost positive on that. All right, and 4 Iona rechargers are now open for beta testing. If you guys don't remember Iona, let me pull it up. Let me look it up. Iona is this collaboration between these brands right here: Toyota, Stellantis, Mercedes, Kia, Hyundai, Honda, GM, and BMW. They're building charging stations across the country. They have 4 up and running. There's an RZ. Look at this like utopia of these manufacturers working together. You have some Kia EVs here in the back. You have like a 5 Series EV, an i5. So it's like this utopic charging station where many brands can come. Diversity is good, right? So this is actually a brand new website. They completely have redesigned their theme, their colors. And look, it kind of reminds you of like Route 66. They kind of have this retro 80s, 70s sort of design here. So they want it to also have, and it says sheets right here. You can make all sorts of jokes like, I don't give a sheets, but the family owned store since 1952, made to order food. So you have like this burger. I don't know. Do they have, it says American style. It's an American chain fast food. Yeah, includes most of them included gas stations. They have one coming online in Houston, one in Corsicana, Texas. They have one opening soon in Reynoldsburg, Ohio. Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's a public beta right now, so this one's looks like it's working, or possibly a public beta in Springfield, Ohio. Public beta in Willoughby, Ohio. You have opening soon in Garner, North Carolina. Abilene, Kansas is opening soon. Waukegan, Kansas, and Apex, North Carolina, opening soon. Now, this is just the beginning. They want to have thousands by the end of this decade. They want to have thousands. That's all Honda has shared so far for 2025 coming up. We don't know what these changes are to all these vehicles. CRV refresh, HRV refresh, CRV. We're getting the CRV Trail Sport, which is pretty cool. We get the ADX, the RSX coming this year for Acura, Integra getting a refresh. What else? Prelude's coming back. The Passport's launching. Honda is going to be busy this year, and they started things off big in CES. They're really giving us a nice peek forward for 2025. There's a lot of things I would love. I mean, a redesigned Odyssey. They just refreshed the Odyssey. I'd love to see a hybrid Odyssey. I'd love to see plug-in hybrids come into the Honda lineup. I would love to see an Acura coupe that's a real Acura Integra coupe, designed or based off of the Prelude. So there's so much I still want Acura and Honda to show us. And I think they have plenty of time to show that those sort of things this year. But the Odyssey is probably it's out of ways. Maybe if we get lucky, and they mentioned this, they kind of danced around it at CES when asked about their large platform hybrids. Where are they? You're losing market here. You're losing opportunity to grow your market share. And Honda says, hey, we're working on it. We don't have anything to share right now, but our technology, it's easy to upscale it for large platform with their hybrids. So we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Thank you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. So long and peace.